Hello and welcome to this video on tips and tricks for coding in JavaScript. Whether you are a beginner or an experienced developer, there is always something new to learn. In this video, we will be covering some lesser known but useful tips that can help you write cleaner and more efficient JavaScript code. The first one is using type coercion to our advantage. One way to do this is by using the OR operator to specify a default value for a variable. For example, we can specify a default value for x if y is not available. So if y is undefined, then 10 will be set as the value of x, or it will set the value of x to y if y is truthy and 10 if y is falsy. This can be useful if you want to set a default value for a variable that might not be defined yet. Second one is use the ternary operator as a shorthand way to write an if-else statement. So if you don't already know, the ternary operator, which is also known as the conditional operator and which is written like this using a question mark and using a colon, we can use it to write a shorthand one-liner if-else statement. So suppose that we have a variable y which is equals to 10 and we want to set the value of x to positive if y is more than 0, otherwise we want to set it to negative. We can use this one-liner ternary operator shorthand way to do this. So x equals to if y is more than 0, then we can set the value of x as positive, otherwise we can set its value as negative. This code is equivalent to this statement. If y is more than 0, then we set x equals to positive, else we set x equals to negative, but this is just a shorthand way to do this in a single line. The ternary operator is a concise way to write simple if-else statements and can be especially useful in situations where you want to return a value based on a condition. The third one is use the spread operator to easily merge arrays or spread an array's elements into function arguments. The spread operator, which is also written as 3 dots, allows you to expand an iterable object such as an array into its individual elements. For example, you can use it to merge two arrays. So if we have two arrays like this, first one with these values and then ARR2 with some other values, then we can merge these two arrays maybe into a new one or into an existing one. So if you want to merge array 1 into array 2, then what you can do is you can just spread out the array 1 items into array 2 like this. Or if you want to create a new array, then you can use the spread operator to merge both array 1 and array 2 by using the spread operator with both of them. We can also use a spread operator to spread an array's elements into function arguments. For example, when using math.max, we can use the spread operator to spread out the values as arguments for this function. Fourth one is use destructuring to quickly extract values from objects and arrays. Destructuring allows us to extract values from objects and arrays and then assign them to variables in a single line of code. For example, suppose that we have a point object with two properties x and y with their individual values like this, and now we want to create new variables from the property values of x and y. Then we can do something like this. We can just assign point directly to this object and these two variables a and b will be declared with these values. We can also use destructuring to extract elements from arrays. For example, if we have an array like this with some values and we want to extract the first and second array value, then what we can do is we can create another variable for first array item and for second array item as well, like this, and then we can simply assign this array to fetch the first and second array item values into these two variables. So this code basically extracts the first and second elements. Destructuring is a convenient way to unpack values from objects and arrays and can save us time and effort when working with complex data structures. The last one for this video is using the for of loop to iterate over the values in an iterable object, such as an array or a string. The for of loop is a newer addition to JavaScript and is a more concise way to iterate over the values in an iterable object. For instance, if we have a list of numbers like this, then we can iterate over this list using the for of loop. So for const value of list, and then console.log value. This is a simple way to iterate over lists instead of providing callbacks for each function like what we do for each. The for of loop is especially useful as well when you don't need to know the index of the current element, and it's generally easier to read than a traditional for loop. These were just a few of the tips and tricks you can use to improve your coding in JavaScript. Whether you are just starting out or you have been coding for years, there is always something new to learn. I hope you found these tips helpful, and if you have any questions or suggestions for future videos, please leave a comment below. Thanks for watching.